before the round-the-world fleet leaves Melbourne, the race is dogged by controversy.
What a load of bullshit, you know. Truly, you know, it's got to be better to have 7 boats in the race than 6.
There's gear failure and structural damage to half the entries. As the crews hurry to prepare their boats, doubts grow about the future of the race. Event management is under pressure.
I'm proud to be the skipper of the Black Pearl. I'm proud to be part of developing this technology, and I'm honoured. And I find things on there like Glenn Burke and Cameron Kelleher should be sacked. So, yeah, it keeps me on the toes.
Pirates of the Caribbean have been plagued with problems.
What was wrong? The drawing was wrong. Therefore, it don't fit. Quite simple.
The pre-race favourites Movistar, and in particular their technical manager Fred Barrett, are facing the prospect of a failed campaign.
Oh, no, I'm not in the mood probably to be filmed right at the moment.
Despite all the problems, the entire fleet makes the start line and heads for Wellington. Within sight of Wellington's harbour entrance, 2 boats are locked in combat. One of them, despite all their setbacks, is Movistar. ABN AMRO 1, winner of the first 2 legs, is about to join them in the closest finish in ocean race history. Movistar wins. Just 9 seconds separate the 2 boats. Finally, it looks as if their campaign is back on track.
Very, very tense. Never had such a intense yard race, but like all the guys said before, New Zealand is a nice place to win, probably always one of the best stopovers to win, so we did it.
There's a comeback for Paul Cayard's Pirates of the Caribbean. 3rd place.
Yeah, we're pretty happy. You know, we're aiming to win, so we're not completely satisfied, but it's a good, solid finish, and boat's going pretty well. The crew's going really well, and you know, we are gaining momentum. We are getting consistency, and we are hopefully getting consistent on the podium, and that's where we want to be. And we'll just keep trying to push harder and get a little further up.
Victory for Movistar has come at a price. Damage to the keel area of the hull means the shore crew must be called in to make the repairs. As this is a pit stop, when only the sailing crew are allowed on board, Movistar must accept a 2-hour penalty at the start of the next leg.
The shore crew will have to work the 4 days full on 24 hours to sort this out. With the slamming, the front part of the weight delaminates, and then the pressure of the water gets in the gap and then rips everything. Like the pressure of the water when you are doing 30, 34 knots, it's like big crashes.
For the shore crews of the remaining boats, it's a frustrating time. Unable to go aboard and help the sailing team, they must sit back and watch, helpless, but not without their own brand of humour.
Attention please, attention please. Time to get back to work. Way too hard now guys, back to work. On the boat please, working. Not on the dock, chattering, working please. Good. I can see Paul Card up there, not quite working hard enough. We can
The race to get Movistar ready is taking its toll, especially on their beleaguered technical manager, Fred Barrett.
Pretty tired, yeah, no, it's all good. The guys have done an awesome job getting everything done.
As the fleet leaves for Rio, Movistar can only sit and watch.
Oh, we can go on board. We're leaving in about 10 minutes. That's a weird feeling. Standing over here, see the others go.
Different point of view.
Yeah, very different one. Actually quite boring. We're just playing it very safe over here because it's still a race, so we're eating all the food and everything on the dock. We don't take anything with us just to be 100% sure. That's why we're standing over the last little gathering over here.
With hopes high for a trouble-free leg, Movistar sets out after the fleet, little knowing that the worst lies ahead. As the fleet heads south into the Southern Ocean once more, conditions get tougher. The boats, pushed to the limit, are traveling at breakneck speed across the most dangerous waters on the planet. Somewhere, sometime, something has to give. Just as it seems that the elements have been defeated, disaster strikes. Yet again, it's Movistar in trouble.
The so-called wet box has blown the lid off. We expect as well that the wedges underneath the boat have been gone, because otherwise it wouldn't have happened. But in a matter of minutes, there was like water up to our hips inside of the boat. So first question, of course, is can we salvage the boat? Because that was the first one that went for all of our minds. So we quickly closed the watertight hatches so that only when the boat would fill up, that only the middle compartment would fill up. In the meantime, I was upstairs with the other guys dropping the sails, but when I came downstairs, I was just like, I got really a shock because I thought this boat is going down. Luckily, the comms were still working, so I could send a message to the race headquarters and actually asked for assistance from the other competitors.
Somehow the crew effect repairs that keep them afloat, but still they're faced with getting to land safely in dangerous conditions. Two days later, Ushuaia, the southernmost city in the world. Once again, the Movistar crew must somehow repair the damage which this time could have been disastrous.
There were 10 very, very determined people on that boat. We weren't stepping into that life raft, and we were going to do everything we could possibly do to avoid that. And for a fair amount of time, it looked like we were losing the battle. But, I mean, you don't give up, eh?
There's so much water already in the boat
the breakers were tripping off and was having a lot of trouble keeping power on. I got the pumps to come on for a couple of seconds, and then they crashed. So basically just decided to wire them directly to the battery banks, which is a problem because it's live. So I got electrocuted about 50 times.
This is the third time in the race that Movistar's been forced to divert to land with serious damage. Having faced the prospect of abandoning ship, emotions are running high.
So one of the things you have to ask as well, and I will just do it straight away, is there anybody who feels like the boat is not safe, who doesn't want to come anymore?
I know I wouldn't do another Sunday leg on the boat, and it's with the current team of boat builders, and unless there was a serious change to the whole structure, and I just wouldn't do it. It's not that important.
If it hadn't been this group of people, we probably would have gone down. I just have zero faith in the boat and the people fixing it right now. Every repair is just a temporary. We're going to do a temporary repair here. We're going to get to Rio Lake. We're going to do a temporary repair there again because we're not going to have enough time before the inshore race. And we're going to do a temporary repair in Baltimore again, and we're going to end up going across the Atlantic with a boat that's unsafe.
You know, I've got a very, very young family, another kid on the way, and I'm really unsure of where I should stay or go.
But I think we still can end up on the podium, and I think it's one of the goals I have in mind to become the top scoring boat from Rio on to the finish. I think another thing as well, if I would quit now, it will have a huge effect for my future career. I think the boat will not sink in that sense if we do the proper repairs. Like what I said, my career is hanging on this one as well, and we always thought we're going to win this race. We know now, in a matter of fact, we might have a crack at second. Third is more likely, and I think that is set as my own goal to at least finish onto the podium.
From the meeting comes the first fracture in the tight-knit crew of Movistar. Technical manager Fred Barrett, the man responsible for the structural integrity of the boat, is sacked.
Well, I guess basically because the boat's had a few problems. Spain and the sponsors have felt it necessary that some action should be taken. It's fair enough too, they obviously put a lot of money into the boat. They probably wanted some reciprocation on why the boat's been having a few problems, and ultimately in big business I guess someone has to go, and I guess my name was drawn out of the hat this time as the technical manager, so I sort of understand where they're coming from and respect their decision. Obviously very hard for me. It's a fairly gut-wrenching thing after being involved for 2.5 years and lots of friends and obviously memories and putting the whole package together. But, we move on, and I'm sure they'll move on, and I wish them all the success and all the best in the future, and hope that they get a third or a second and definitely get a podium finish, because they deserve a podium finish for sure. Obviously it would have been fantastic to get a first in this race for everyone involved, but life is what it is, and it's been a very hard road.
Fred's a good friend of mine, and but we just know he's a very good guy behind the computer. He's brilliant in designing things. He's done a lot of really good things for us. But as he was in the role of as the short team manager, he was just lacking a little bit of experience in that sense, and just being hard enough against the guys, because you just know how people are. Yeah. They want to do a right job, but still when they can run on the edges, they will run on the edges and trying to run you over and actually trying to run their own show. Yeah. So he was not thorough enough in that sense, and so it's not a nice thing to do, but he took it very well.
Rio de Janeiro. Celebration time once again for ABN AMRO 1. Their third leg win from 4.
These boats are always incredibly physical, and we had a couple of, I guess, scary moments. And certainly as a helmsman, where in that last probably 24, 30 hours into Cape Horn, there were probably more moments in that where I thought, shit, what am I doing? What do I do? Everyone's looking at me to keep this boat upright, to keep it from wiping out, and you're sitting at the top of a wave doing low 20s, and at the bottom of the wave you're doing 30, but you can't see where you're going. And the wave will swing you one way, swing you the other. I mean, there were some pretty hairy moments, but we got through it.
As the crews unwind after 21 days at sea, race CEO Glenn Burke is worried about whether Rio is prepared for the forthcoming in-port race.
You know, the question here is, there's obviously some instability between the federal police, who have about a dozen ribs that they could add to the exclusion zone management, and the Navy, who have 26 boats and a helicopter and a ship and whatever. So the question is, can you get to the point where you can get these two guys to amalgamate and combine and be harmonious? And if you do that, who has authority? If we have people out there inebriated, if we have them in little boats, or a boat breaks down, or they just don't understand how these racing boats, how quick they are or how fast they move, then, you know, we could easily get into a bad situation really quickly.
Just watch this one.
Admiral, before we get into the English presentation, I'd like to just show you a token of our esteem. It's a very exclusive Volvo Ocean Race tyre that we hope you can use. I know it's a little bit hot here, but we hope you like it. It has the yacht clubs.
Work every day with time.
Do you? Excellent, nice. Are we going to set marks here? Because this is wrong. It needs to go more like this. And we just have to hope the wind direction is...
That's honest. We also have a good connection squad. God will provide a good.
They've surprised us in so many ways, the Brazilians. You never think they're going to get it done, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's done. And it's not only done, it's done nicely. And these guys have a plan. They've thought about it. And, you know, proof will be in the pudding whether they can keep control of it, because if there's 2,000 boats out there and you know, and they go wild, it'll be hard to get it under control.
5 days after the arrival of the leg winners, Becking finally reaches Rio.
Basically, we just need reassurance that it's not going to happen again from the people that know, you know. And so far we've done 4 legs and we haven't finished one unscathed.
The Movistar crew is working around the clock to be ready for the Rio in-port race. Bauer can do nothing but watch. The boat designers, Far Yacht Design, are under pressure to ensure that this time the boat is completely seaworthy.
Yeah, this one will be fixed so that won't have the same trouble again. Now, it's easy enough to say that, but, you know, you can hit things and you can have events that are unpredictable that can lead to problems as well, so you can never say never.
As the work continues into the night, Bauer has to step in to relieve the pressure on one of his team.
But that's the thing, like, it's just the thing, like, we have got the guys in place, they're doing, I think, a good job, and we have to think about you as a person, as a sailor, not that you now work, worry, because we want to have you fresh for the next leg. We have to make sure that we keep sailing like how we're doing, but fast, you're a good team, and just, you have to let it go, like, just let it go, like, for 2-3 days, like what I said, I'm going home, just...
Does it ever run out, Kimi?
Always.
In the Pirates of the Caribbean camp, Kimo Worthington has found that business in Rio can be a challenge.
I got charged $2,200 for a gallon of paint. Dollars. U.S. dollars.
What sort of paint?
Boat paint. And I went through, I mean, you're just, come on, buddy, you're ripping us off. I had a paint bill for $4,000 here. 2.5 gallons of paint. Oh yeah, it's extraordinary. There's a lot of extraordinary things that go on here.
It's less than 36 hours before the start of the in-port race. It looks as if Movistar will be ready to go.
You've probably got a ½ an inch left.
Meanwhile, 8,000 miles away, the saga of the Australian entry continues. Short of funds right from the start, they left the race in Melbourne, planning to upgrade their boat and rejoin in Baltimore. Skipper Grant Warrington remains upbeat.
Yeah, the
paint job everyone's loved. You know, Brunel very happy with it, and the boat looks striking on the water in the import race in Melbourne. So we're spending the time in the shed to make sure the performance reflects the image of the boat. So it's all good. Looking forward to getting back out on the water again. Really, another 2.5 weeks in the shed, 7 weeks on the ship, and we'll be into it.
Basically up and under. Once it's got going, it's really, it's really hard to control. I know why they used it in the knockout now. What contrast? They're really hard work.
Yeah, I'm going to put the It's a Knockout music on, yeah.
Oh. I think it's 190 million in Brazil. I think maybe all the toilets come down here and go in this bit.
This is a big day for race director Andy Hindley.
The course is completely clear, the wind is perfect, and if this continues all afternoon, we'll have one of the best races we've probably had so far. Fantastic. Yeah, it is, very. And this is following the old, following the boat around the course. Hey! Hey! Guys, you're too close for this next two. Keep back. Either fly properly or get off the course. Take the ABN AMRO one down, put the press flag up, or leave the course, okay? Get out of there! These guys are trying to film! Keep out of the way!
Despite the pressure of last-minute repairs, Movistar is performing well in the in-port race. But ABN AMRO 1 wins, and they tighten their grip on the event. For Bauer, the race is a small triumph.
It's nice that we actually pulled it together today, and I think we just stayed calm, and some other people made a lot of mistakes and just got into second place. But we were happy with our speed as well. We were going good upwind, and we were actually very quick downwind. And we still know there's a lot of downwind that's going to be raced in this race, so it gives us a lot of confidence.
With the event at its halfway point, thoughts of management turn to the future. Will the sponsors back another race? Glenn Burke has travelled to corporate headquarters to put his case.
Big day really for the race, and interesting. I feel a little bit emotionally detached from the whole thing right now. I have a real faith in their ability to come out with the right solution for us. They're highly ethical and they're long term, but you know, I might be coming out of here crying in a few minutes' time. We'll see how it goes.
While Glenn's making his presentation,
we have created the world's premier ocean racing boat now in the Volvo 70, and it has a presence and an aura that we didn't have with the Volvo 60s. And there's a number of reasons for that, but one of them is predominantly that it is the world's fastest monohull. Now we've gone through this period where the boats were breaking down early in the race to a period now where the competition has become the focus. My personal belief is that the breakdowns in the beginning of the race didn't hurt us too much in terms of creating presence and profile for the race. And I think we handled it reasonably well, and the teams assisted us greatly in our PR initiative around those breakdowns. So it wasn't particularly catastrophic for anyone.
Meeting over, but there's still work to be done before a final decision is made.
The race has a future, and that's what I wanted to hear, really. And I think that they're well pleased with the amount of media that it generates, what it does for the brand, all of the attributes of it, and they know that there's some tweaking, and they're pretty supportive of what we put forward for the tweaking. So.
For Glenn, the pressure will build, especially with the remarkable events still to come. The start of the next leg, Leaving behind the beauty of Rio, it seems as if the worst is behind them. In our next program, that illusion is shattered. A tragedy strikes and we will witness one of the most dramatic moments in ocean race history. And once again, at the center of the drama, Movistar.